The Ermator comes with a distribution box, which is located on the back of the grinder here. It is an electrical box, which actually allows for you to only have to run one cord to your power source. So on one side of the distribution box, I have an outlet where I will plug the cord in that's going to my power source. On the other side of my distribution box, I have a receptacle which will allow me to plug my grinder into the vacuum. This will power both the vacuum. This distribution box powers both the vacuum and the grinder, making it necessary for you to only run one cord to your power source. Once your power has been wired correctly, you have your on and off switch. The green switch located here is your on switch. When you go to shut the vacuum off, the red switch will be your off switch or your stop switch. On the front of the vacuum is where we place our hose. It is a cam lock system. So what we have the male end on the vacuum. The female end is actually on the hose itself. You'll notice that located inside of the hose, you'll see a black ring. That is another seal that when is on the vacuum and clamped down, you'll notice I have two clamps here. When that's clamped down, that creates an airtight seal. So to put it on, I'm just simply gonna insert it. And then with the clamps, I'm going to make sure that I take both sides and clamp them down good and tight. That way I create a seal, eliminating any sort of air from leaking out. Purging the vacuum cleans the filters without actually shutting the vacuum off. So you don't have to turn the vacuum off and pull the filters out to clean them. You can clean them while the vacuum is in operation. In order to do this, there are a few things that we need to know. First, we have the gate here, which blocks the airflow coming into the vacuum. This is important because that is going to generate the jet pulse that's sent through the filters to clean them out. So in order to block the airflow coming into the vacuum, I'm just simply going to pull up on the gate. That will then block the airflow coming into the vacuum. At this point, I can now purge the filters using a jet pulse. To do that, I'm simply going to take the handle here and I'm going to push it in the forward direction. I'm going to push it towards the front of the vacuum. This is going to release that jet pulse into the filters and clean them out. The Longo pack system on the vacuum is a unique system which allows all of my dust to stay contained within a 6 mil plastic bag. In order to put the plastic bag onto the vacuum itself, I'm going to take the bag. You'll notice that it's got 4 plastic ties kind of holding it together. I'm going to leave those on for now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply set the plastic bag around the collar, and I'm going to work the plastic bag down into the grooves on the collar. You'll notice that there's a groove down in here. So I'm going to work the plastic bag down into that groove. Just going to kind of work it around in there. And just continue to work it around here. The other thing you're going to want to make sure to do is you're going to want to find where is the plastic bag starting. The plastic bag, when you put the Longo pack in the collar itself, you want the start of the plastic bag to be at the top. This is going to allow me to pull my bag over this collar when I get it onto the vacuum. So I always want to make sure that the start of the plastic bag is at the top. Now I'm ready to go ahead and put the collar onto the vacuum. And notice that there are 2 dog ears, one right here and one on the opposite side of the collar. And you'll notice that on each side of the bottom of the vacuum there are 2 bolts. So the dog ears on the collar are going to go up into the plastic bolt, and then I'm going to twist it to lock it into place. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to start from the back. And I'm just going to kind of work my way. I'm starting to get some plastic bunched up in between the collar and the vacuum itself. This one actually went on pretty easily, which is good. So at this point, I've got the 2 dog ears lined up with the bolts. I've got it all the way up. I'm going to twist it, and that will lock it into place, and that allows the collar to stay suspended onto the vacuum. At this point now, I'm ready to go ahead and cut my plastic ties. Remember, there are 4 of them. So with a knife, you'll want to cut these, and you'll want to be careful not to cut the plastic bag. If I cut that Longopack bag, then my dust is going to escape. So I want to really make sure that I'm careful as I'm cutting these plastic ties, not to cut the Longopack bag itself. So I've got 2 of them off. There's the 3rd one, and the 4th one is going to be tricky. That one's going to be in the back. So I'm just going to kind of feel back there, make sure that my knife isn't up against the Longopack bag, and I'm going to cut that one off. At this point now, we're ready to go ahead and pull the bag down over the collar and create an area where the dust can fall into. So I'm just going to go ahead and where the plastic bag starts, I'm just going to go ahead and start to pull that, and I'm going to pull it over the collar. I want it to go over the collar. So I'm going to do that all the way around here. And I'm just going to wiggle a little bit. And I'm going to get it to sit down, get it sitting down on the tray of the vacuum. Now that we've got that, I'm just going to close the bottom of the bag off, and that will allow the dust to stay contained within the bag. So I'm going to open up my bag of zip ties. Every Longopack bag will come with a bag of zip ties. So I'm going to go ahead and bunch up the bottom here, making sure I have all of the bottom, making sure I've collected all of the bottom. You'll probably just want to go ahead and set your zip tie. To be safe, you'll probably want to set your zip tie 4 or 5 inches above the bottom, just to make sure that you've completely closed off the entire bag. I'm going to put this around there like so. Pull the zip tie really good and tight. And at this point now, when the dust from the vacuum falls down out of the vacuum, it will fall into the bag here, allowing my dust to stay completely contained within the plastic bag. The SOx filters are located inside the vacuum. This is the first place where the dust is filtered once it enters the vacuum. They're located in this cylinder right here. To take them out or to inspect them, I'm going to loosen up my 2 latches here. I also have to loosen up the latches in the back, the cover for the HEPA filters as well. So there are 6 latches all together that I have to undo. At this point, I am ready to go ahead and open up the vacuum. And inside here are where my filter socks, my sock filters are located. To remove the sock filter, it is a twist lock system. So I'm basically just going to take the filters and I'm going to turn them. At this point, I will be able to just pull them right out like so. You'll notice that there is a bolt here, and there's a bolt that's exactly the same on the other side. This is what locks the sock filter into place. So to remove it, you'll twist it and pull it out, and to put it back in, you're just going to simply do the exact same thing, making sure the bolts line up in the hole. Give it a twist, it will lock into position, and this will hold your sock filter in the vacuum when you go to tip it back up. Behind the sock filters are where the HEPA filters are located. In this cover here, they are labeled on the cover. It will tell you where the HEPA filters are. The cover has a latch on each side. The latches are identical. One here, one on the opposite side that I will loosen. And then at this point, I can go ahead and pull the cover off. And you notice I have 2 HEPA filters located here. To pull the HEPA filters out, it's just very simple slide up. There's no sort of twisting or anything like that. They just slide right out and slide right back in. You'll want to make sure that you do have a seal around your HEPA filters. Anywhere where air could leak through is going to result in reduced airflow of the vacuum. So both HEPA filters should have an O-ring around them to create that seal in order for the vacuum to be working at the proper CFM. To open up the distribution box or the electrical box, there is a key that is provided with the vacuum. It looks like this. A flathead screwdriver will also work as well. I'm just going to put the key in here. I'm going to turn the key. That will open up the door, and you'll notice inside here I have 2 circuit breakers located at the top here. These should always be in the up position. If they are in the down position, you have tripped the breaker and you just simply need to reset it.